Aldrich Studio Town. A few days ago, you were invited to Aldrich Studio Town for a filming event. After that, you stayed to explore and enjoy the final days of your holiday. This film city was originally built for shooting Western movies and has since become a combination of a filming venue and a tourist attraction, drawing visitors from all over the world. That afternoon, after visiting the last attraction, you head to the food street for lunch. As soon as you step in, you notice rows of celebrity photos and recommendation posters. Nearly every restaurant has large sign posters or group photos outside, making it feel like the real attraction here isn't the food but the movie stars. What a lively place! No wonder it's a food street inside a film city.
50년의 역사가 있는 곳이니까요. 이곳을 방문한 스타들도 많았고요. 잠깐만요. 이 사인은
Artem stops in front of the transparent window of a fast food restaurant, his gaze drawn to one of the photos inside.
조지 스케이프? 이런 데서 이 사람의 사인을 볼 줄은 몰랐네요.
Following Artem's gaze, you spot in each photo showing a group of actors gathered inside the restaurant. Artem points to a corner of the photo where a line of messy cursive English script looks like a dove with outstretched wings.
공적인 행사에 전혀 참석하지 않는다고 알려져서 영화 외적으로는 신비로운 이미지였거든요. 근데 이 사진은
Looks like a group shot during a crew dinner. The movie actor in the photo is still dressed in costume, holding a burger with a gloomy expression. The unshaken sense of immersion exudes a unique story-like charm. Seeing Artem's interest, you glance at the restaurant sign and tug his hand. Let's go in and check it out. Cafeteria. Pushing open the glass door, the chime of the welcome bell rings out as you and Artem step into a restaurant called Infinitely Tasty Burger. With only a few scattered customers, you pull Artem to a quiet corner. After placing your order online, you start taking in the decor of the restaurant. The restaurant is small but intricately decorated, with walls covered in movie posters, interspersed with peculiar ornaments that make you feel as though you've stepped into a surreal retro-style film. Artem, look at that poster! At the center of the wall hangs a large black poster. Although unsigned by any stars, its placement in the most prominent spot sadly reveals its owner's deep affection for it. Artem puts down the menu in his hand and looks in the direction you point out.
인피니트 라이프. 처음 들어보는 영화인데요.
영화가 아니라 무한한 인생 동호회 기념 포스터예요.
While you're focused on the surroundings, someone approaches with a tray of food. After setting it down, they stand beside you, smiling warmly as they start explaining.
제가 바로 이 동호회 회원이거든요. 이 가게 사장이기도 하고요. 저희 가게에 오신 걸 환영합니다.
The restaurant owner adds a quick self-introduction, and from his tone, you can tell he takes greater pride in being a club member. Infinite Life Club.
네, 저희는 회원들끼리 서로 인생을 바꿔 살면서 풍요로운 삶의 경험을 하자는 취지의 동호회예요. 물론 전문성을 요구하는 경험은 힘들고요. 그래도 저희 같은 일반인들에겐 다양한 선택과 경험을 해볼 수 있는 기회죠.
The idea of exchanging life experiences sounds intriguing. You shift your gaze from the poster, noticing the owner still watching the both of you with great enthusiasm.
방금 밖에서 구경하시는 거 봤어요. 조지 스케이프 사인에 관심 있으신 거죠?
Yes, how did you know?
그야 쉽죠. 어떤 행사에도 참석하지 않는 신비주의 스타의 사진인데요. 이 거리 통틀어서 이 한 장밖에 없을 거예요. 제가 사인 사진을 드릴게요. 작은 거래를 해주신다면요.
거래요?
Artem blurts out his question but soon glances at the Infinite Life Club poster, quickly guessing the answer.
저희 직업은 전문성을 요구하는 직업이라 바꿔 체험하기엔 부적절할 것 같습니다.
오해하셨나 보네요. 전 이미 교환 상대가 있습니다. 같은 동호회의 양봉업자예요. 이틀 전에 갑자기 다쳐서 약속을 못 지키게 됐는데 양봉장에 와서 체험하는 건 환영한다고 하더라고요. 근데 제가 가버리면 가게를 봐줄 사람이 없다 보니
Seeing the restaurant owner's troubled expression, you begin to understand what he's hinting at. You'd like us to look after this restaurant for you?
네, 두 분이 이 가게를 봐주셨으면 좋겠어요. 저 사진은 제가 돌아오면 드리겠습니다.
Why not just close the restaurant temporarily?
매번 휴업하면 이 가게는 금방 망하고 말 거예요. 무한한 인생의 본질은 나눔과 교환이지. 새로운 경험을 위해 원래의 삶을 버리는 건 지향하지 않습니다.
Yeah, that does seem like a more rational approach. Artem doesn't respond immediately, briefly contemplating as he glances at the photos in the window before turning his attention back to the owner.
사진에 관심이 가는 건 사실이지만 꼭 소장해야만 하는 건 아니어서요. 귀히 여기시는 소장품이라면
As someone who shares a passion for collectibles, Artem clearly hesitates to make the owner part with an item of sentimental value. The owner shrugs and gestures to the wall filled with movie posters. The prominently displayed Infinite Life poster speaks volume about his perspective.
그건 걱정하실 거 없습니다. 이건 전부 아버지가 남기신 겁니다. 전 영화나 슈퍼스타들보다 현실적인 삶이 더 좋아서요.
What an eccentric yet intriguing owner. You and Artem exchange glances, reading the same answer in each other's eyes. We'll discuss it and let you know.
네. 하지만 너무 오래 망설이시지 않는 게 좋을 거예요. 사람은 가끔 본능에 따라 움직여야 할 때가 있거든요.
After the owner leaves, you switch seats to sit closer to Artem, lowering your voice to discuss the situation with him. 5 days of running a restaurant for the chance to get an exclusive signed photo sounds like a good deal to me. What do you think?
체험이라는 의미에서 보면 가게 운영이 쌓인 사진보다 더 매력적이고 도전적으로 느껴지네요. 마을 구경 말고 다른 계획은 없으니까 해보는 것도 좋을 것 같아요.
Then let's agree to it. I'll let the owner know. You get up to find the owner, but Artem grabs your arm. As you turn back, a plate of steaming hot fries is placed in front of you.
천천히 해요. 먹고 나서 가도 늦지 않잖아요.
You're right, let's eat before anything else. You and Artem strike a verbal agreement with the owner, then familiarize yourselves with the restaurant layout and meal preparation process, practicing under his guidance a few times. The cooking at the fast food place is relatively simple. Confident in your performance, the owner quickly hands over the restaurant keys and prepares to leave for the beekeeping estate. It also means your and Artem's new experience is about to begin. Cafeteria. You've already divided the tasks. You'll handle food preparation in the kitchen while Artem will take care of the guests in the dining area. You simulate the food prep process 2 or 3 times, trying to ingrain it in your memory to avoid any mistakes tomorrow in the rush. From the cooking station, you turn to the serving counter where Artem leans slightly, appearing to have just finished familiarizing himself with his task.
저녁에 뭐 먹을래요? 오늘까지는 밖에서 먹을 시간이 있는데 내일부턴 바빠서 가게에서 먹어야 할 거예요.
Is it evening already? You glance outside and only then notice that night has quietly fallen. Caught up in the novelty and excitement, you've entirely lost track of time. I'm not really hungry, so I don't have any particular cravings for dinner. Can you pour me a glass of water first?
그래요. 홀에서 쉬고 있어요.
Artem brings over 2 glasses of water and you both sit by the window gazing at the deep night outside. This feels strangely like we're in a late night diner.
심야 식당이요?
Artem tilts his head as if searching his memory for a movie with relevant themes.
도시 번화가에서 새벽까지 영업하는 음식점 말하는 거예요?
Right, but there's another feature of late night diners. The owner often listens to the patron's stories.
어떻게요?
For example, imagine I'm the owner of this place and you're a patron visiting late at night, someone who seems burdened with worries. Then I'd offer you a glass of warm water and tell you that you can share whatever's troubling you with me. Of course, just for tonight, by dawn, it's as if nothing ever happened. Life goes on and we remain merely owner and patron.
근데 지금은 고민거리가 없는데요.
You lift your glass but pause, startled by his response. None at all?
저녁 메뉴가 생각 안 나긴 하는데 이것도 고민으로 치나요? 그거 말고는 없네요.
Artem turns his water glass slowly in his hands. The restaurant's warm tone light softened his gaze. For some reason, he's confident no worries touches a tender spot in your heart. You blink and continue listening quietly.
좀 궁금하긴 하네요. 낯선 사람한테 털어놓는다고 문제가 해결되나요? 듣는 쪽은 그 감정을 또 어떻게 소화하고요?
I think neither the speaker nor the listener necessarily cares about solutions. They just want to share. Life isn't a novel after all. A conversation between strangers rarely becomes a turning point in one's life. But you take Artem's hand, interlocking your fingers as he relaxes his grip. Make the most of this moment. A late night diner provides a certain atmosphere, shielding you from the world outside with me here for you.
지금 이 순간을 간직한다라.
You rise to refill your water but notice Artem gripping your hand, seemingly lost in thought and reluctant to let go. You give his palm a gentle squeeze and softly remind him. I'll grab some water. What's on your mind?
아무것도 아니에요.
There's a flicker of emotion in Artem's eyes. He hesitates briefly, then quietly explains himself.
이제부터 경청자 역할이 되는 거네요. 이것도 타인의 삶을 경험하는 방식이라 볼 수 있겠죠? 기대되네요.
Me too. In a city where new and fascinating stories unfold daily, meeting interesting people and gaining extraordinary experiences seem effortless. You are sure you'll encounter plenty of intriguing stories in the days to come. On the first day of standing in for the honor, the crowd at the restaurant far exceeded your expectations. Artem and you are busy all day, and only as closing time approaches, Do you finally have a moment to rest? I can't believe how popular this place is.
아, 그러게요. 재고 확인해 봤는데 얼마 안 남았더라고요.
You're just a few sentences into your conversation when the welcome bell at the door rings and a young woman dressed like a backpacker pushes the door open.
혹시 마감하셨나요?
We are. Please, have a seat. Cafeteria. After finishing the meal, you and Artem get ready to head back to the kitchen to clean up, but suddenly you see the guest pulling a paper map out of her backpack.
이 가게 위치 좀 표시해 주실 수 있나요? 여행 지도에 기념으로 남기고 싶어서요.
No problem. You take the marker she hands you and find the location of this restaurant to mark it on the map. Your eyes scan the whole map and a striking red line crosses the entire Mistborn plain marked with symbols all along the way. You've visited all these marked places on the map.
네. 근데 이건 극히 일부에 불과해요. 10곳이 넘는 나라를 여행하면서 이런 지도를 여러 개 만들었거든요.
The backpacker traces the red line on the map repeatedly with her fingers, reminiscing as she sighs.
여행이 제 인생의 전부라고 생각했었는데 이것이 마지막이 될 줄은 몰랐네요. 내일이면 돌아가야 해요.
마지막이요? 왜 계속 여행하지 않으시고요?
원래 가던 길을 포기하고 새로운 삶을 살 수밖에 없게 만드는 부득이한 사정이 생기곤 하잖아요. 인생이란 항상 그런 법이니까요.
The backpacker shrugs nonchalantly, but her eyes betray undeniable regret. You and Artem exchange a glance, silently agreeing not to press for more. For a stranger, leaving an explanation as vague as there's no choice is more than sufficient.
아, 제 여행 다이어리에 한마디 써주실래요?
A thick leather-bound notebook is handed over to you, and the backpacker points to a page explaining something to you both.
새로운 곳을 들릴 때마다 우연히 만난 분에게 한마디씩 써달라고 했거든요. 여행 도중에 만난 사람은 다시 못 만날 확률이 높지만 그날을 기록하면 영원히 기억된다고 생각하거든요. 제가 70이 넘어 걷지 못하게 되어도 다이어리를 펼치면 어제 만난 것처럼 생생하게 떠올릴 수 있잖아요.
That's such a meaningful way to preserve memories. Artem, what should we write? You look back at Artem, seeing him deep in thought.
곧 여행과 작별해야 할 분에게 적어드릴 만한 글이라면 이게 가장 좋을 것 같네요.
Artem picks up the pen, leaning over the counter to swiftly write a line of text. Once he pushes the notebook back, you lean in with the backpacker to see what he wrote. Our battered suitcases were once again piled on the sidewalk.
아직 갈 길이 멀지만 괜찮다. 길이 바로 인생이니까. 너무 마음에 들어요. 앞으로 꼭 새겨둘게요. 정말 감사해요.
You're welcome. We won't keep you from your meal any longer.
무사히 가시길 바랄게요.
When the backpacker finishes her meal and leaves, it's also time for the restaurant to close. You and Artem tidy up the place while continuing to talk about what just happened. Let's create a guest book for the restaurant, Artem. It could hold messages for our diners as well as our reflections on running this place.
나쁘지 않을 것 같네요. 그럼 오늘부터 시작하죠.
Artem is studying the condiments at the self-service counter, and after a moment of staring at the nearly empty ketchup bottle, he turns back and speaks seriously.
첫날 체험해 보니 느낀 게 많거든요.
Alright, let me grab a notebook. You pull out a notebook from your bag and, with Artem by your side, you sit at the counter. After writing the title Infinite Tasty Burger Restaurant Business Log, you pass the pen to him. It's the first day of business. What does my partner think?
이곳 손님들은 케첩을 정말 좋아하는 것 같아요.
Huh? Artem starts writing with a neat list of numbers, as precise as if he's writing a work summary. Then he swiftly adds ketchup.
재고가 충분한 줄 알았는데 거의 다 나갔어요. 내일 재고가 보충되지 않으면 케첩 없이도 감자튀김이 팔릴지 모르겠네요. 그리고 날 왜 그렇게
Artem, who has been focused on writing, suddenly looks up, easily meeting your gaze through his messy bangs. To be precise, it's you who have been staring at him.
빤히 쳐다보고 있어요?
Because watching you analyze ketchup and fries so seriously is a rare sight. And Artem, who has taken off his suit and is now working alongside you in the small restaurant to prepare late-night snacks for travelers, is a rare sight. It's a unique experience that's unlikely to happen again, so you want to pay close attention and record it. You decide to lean your body to the side, resting your chin in your hands and shift your focus to keep him in your line of sight. Artem, have I ever told you that it's because I'm experiencing all this with you that these moments are worth remembering? Because with him by your side, every experience feels worth cherishing, from paper to photos and even engraved in your heart, as if afraid that the memory might fade away with time.
그랬던 것 같아요.
Artem lowers his gaze to the paper, his pen wavering over the blank space. His long bangs get in the way, partially covering his slightly flushed ears as he bows his head. In a tone somewhere between seriousness and shyness, he hesitates before responding to you.
처음 얘기한 것 같기도 하고 기억이 잘 안 나네요. 괜찮아요. 이번엔 적어둘게요.
Maybe this line doesn't need to be written after all. You barely have time to stop him, so you lean in to see what he wrote, and the answer is already revealed by the soft sound in your ear.
안 적었어요. 그냥 오늘이 너무 빨리 지나간 것 같아서요. 앞으로 함께할 시간이 많아서 다행이에요.
Yeah, we have more days ahead. Then I'll add one last thing. Let's keep it until tomorrow. That's all. After putting away the notes, you and Artem lock up the shop together. The street lights outside shimmer like starlight, lighting your way home. Cafeteria. As the lunch rush subsides, the crowd in the dining area gradually thins out. You and Artem stay at the counter to tally up the morning sales. Two silhouettes, one tall and one short, appear in front of the glass door. A pair of brothers walk in. After placing their order, the older brother glances at you with an apologetic look.
죄송한데 제 동생 좀 봐주실 수 있나요? 건너편에서 아이스크림만 사고 바로 올게요.
그럼요.
After receiving an affirmative response, the older brother nods to you in thanks before turning to warn his younger brother in a slightly stern tone.
얌전히 여기 있어. 다른 사람한테 패 끼치지 말고.
알겠어. 얌전히 있을게.
The little boy drags out his response in a soft, lingering voice, which makes you glance at him again. He really does seem obedient. I'll prepare the food first and then come back to help Artem look after the kid. Cafeteria.
형, 황야의 카우보이 해본 적 있어요?
아니, 없는데?
You carry a meal tray out from the kitchen just in time to hear this exchange. Judging by the mention of the cowboy of the wilderness, you figure it's probably a video game.
골든헌터는요? 파이널 배틀 오브 히어로즈는 해봤죠?
다 해본 적이 없는데.
The little boy fidgets at the edge of his chair, his dangling legs swinging back and forth. His gaze towards Artem is filled with sympathy. Artem stands to the side, partially blocking the boy to prevent him from falling. His tone and pace are gentler than usual, deliberately matching the child's understanding level.
꼬마 친구는 형이랑 취미가 좀 다른 것 같네. 형은 카드로 하는 게임을 더 좋아하거든. 그래서 비디오 게임은 잘 몰라. 게임이 좋으면 열심히 공부해서 커서 게임 만드는 사람이 되는 건 어때?
Hearing this, you can't help but smile, setting down the tray before grabbing another glass of juice and placing it in front of him. The 6 or 7-year-old child before you blinks in confusion, clearly unable to grasp Artem's intent of educating through play.
그렇게 좋아하진 않아요. 우리 형 엄청 대단해요. 뭐든 다 할 줄 알거든요. 황야의 카우보이보다 더 대단해요.
Holding the cup in both hands, the boy turns toward the opposite side, looking at his brother's figure in the long queue at the ice cream shop.
엄마는 내가 형처럼 대단해지면 같이 놀 수 있을 거라고 했어요.
Your mom is right. When you grow up, you'll be just as amazing as your brother.
근데 선생님은 내가 똑똑하지 않아서 크면 더 미움받을 거라고 했어요. 그래서 무서워요.
The boy steals a glance upward and quickly turns away, almost as if he wants to look at you but feels too embarrassed. You let out a quiet sigh. In a child's world, there are always countless adult voices. A casual reprimand or instruction could linger in their childhood for a long time. Artem crouches down by the chair, holding the half-finished juice cup for the child. He removes the beaten straw and replaces it with a new one.
그건 선생님이 틀린 거야. 선생님 말씀을 다 들을 필요는 없어. 앞으로 다가올 일을 무서워할 필요도 없고. 이런 말 여러 번 들었을 수도 있지만 크면 저절로 알게 될 거야.
사람들은 크면 모두 다 대단한 어른이 되나요?
Sipping on the juice Artem holds for him, the boy gulps it down and softly asks. The cartoon animals on the paper cup are childish and silly. Water condenses on his palm as Artem patiently steadies the cup while earnestly answering the child's innocent question.
그럼 모두 다 대단한 어른이 될 수 있어.
Footsteps rush in from the entrance as the older brother returns with 2 ice creams. He glances at the boy first before looking toward you.
대신 봐주셔서 감사합니다. 동생이 패 끼치진 않았죠?
네, 얌전히 잘 있었어요.
Without saying more, Artem steps aside to make room for the guests to dine. You take the opportunity to hand over the guest book. If it's convenient, could you leave a note in our guest book? Any thoughts or suggestions are welcome.
내가 쓸래요. 쓰게 해주세요.
The boy lowers his head and spends a while scribbling on the notebook. And thus, the restaurant's first customer note appears in the guest book. I want to grow up to be amazing and play cowboys of the wilderness forever. Cafeteria. Nothing else of note happens on this day. During closing, Artem glances at the guest book and suddenly asks you softly.
그 꼬마 크면 오늘 일을 다 잊어버리겠죠.
Forget what?
내 비현실적인 대답 말이에요. 함부로 아이의 인생을 지적하고 평가하는 그런 이상한 형으로 기억되고 싶지 않아서요.
Realizing what Artem is agonizing over, you clear your throat and mimic his serious tone to answer properly. Not necessarily. Many people carry childhood wonders as their guiding truth even into adulthood. Perhaps many years from now, he will recall a kind gentleman who once reassured him not to fear growing up or facing the future.
어린아이만 그런 건
Autumn pulls you into a gentle hug, holding onto his serendipitous counter.
어른도 인연이 계속 신경 쓰이거든요.
Cafeteria. Outside, the wind howls, kicking up swirling clouds of sand. The streets are completely deserted. You both assume no one would visit in such harsh weather and are just about to close early when the entrance bell chimes. A guest carrying a massive guitar case walks through the door.
세트 하나 주세요. 제가 지금 급해서 최대한 빨리 부탁드릴게요.
Sure, please wait a moment. Cafeteria. You serve the burger and sides as quickly as possible, but still underestimate just how pressed for time this guest is. Before you can bring out the drink, the guest has already devoured the burger at lightning speed and slung the guitar case over his back, ready to leave. In that much of a rush? Artem walks over, taking the tray from your hands, a similar look of surprise in his eyes. He hesitates before addressing the guest.
죄송한데 음료 안 받아가셔도 괜찮으시겠어요?
네? 아, 주세요. 그리고
The guest stretches out a hand, then retracts it, repeating the motion twice. His movements and tone grow increasingly impatient as he glances toward the corner of the restaurant. You follow his gaze to the corner where an old record player is softly playing a movie soundtrack. Everything seems perfectly normal. Just as you're about to ask, the guest blurts out in exasperation.
턴테이블 소리가 이상한 것 같아요.
네? 문제 없는 것 같은데요.
The guest points to his ears, speaking with an agitated tone.
보통 사람들은 모를 수 있지만 전 선천적으로 절대음감이라 조금만 안 맞아도 알 수 있어요. 이쪽으로 강박증이 있어서 음이탈이 살짝만 있어도 머릿속에서 끊임없이 커지고 반복되거든요. 죄송해요. 더 이상 못 듣고 있겠네요. 수고하세요.
Grabbing his drink, the guest hurries out, not even bothering to take his bag. You and Artem exchange bewildered glances.
정말로 음정이 잘못됐나요?
I couldn't hear anything wrong at all. Compared to that eccentric guest, you trust Artem's judgment on pitch more, but seeing the doubt on his face, you are starting to second-guess yourself too. Artem silently walks over to the corner and stares at the record player, which is still humming along. After a long pause, he lets out a soft sigh.
가게에 예비용 스피커가 하나 더 있을 거예요. 사장님 돌아오시면 턴테이블 수리 맡기는 걸로 하죠.
The speaker should be in the storage room. Let's look for it together. After changing the sound system, there are still no customers coming in. You start taking stock of the ingredients, but Artem seems distracted, frequently glancing at the off-tune record player. Artem glances once, twice. After you don't know how many times, you can't help but raise your hand to cover his eyes. Alright, stop looking at it and stop thinking about the record player.
그만 생각하는 게 안 되네요.
Artem sighs helplessly, pulling your hand away. His fingers nervously rub your palm back and forth.
배꼽 효과처럼 생각하지 않으려고 할수록 턴테이블이 망가졌다는 사실을 더 생각하게 되는 거죠. 그리고 하루 종일, 어쩌면 며칠 동안 이 망가진 턴테이블로 노래를 들었을 생각을 하니까 벌써 귓가에서 멜로디가 재생되면서 머릿속으로 어느 부분에 문제가 생긴 건지 분석하기 시작했어요.
So, what do we do?
보통은 주의를 다른 곳으로 돌리면 좀 나아지곤 해요.
Why don't we pick tomorrow's playlist? Listening to something else might help us forget about this.
좋아요. 일단 해보죠.
Artem takes out his laptop and connects it to the sound system. You drag your chair closer, your knees touching. Different styles of music play one after another, and the two of you quietly listen, filtering through one track after another. When you hear a song with no lyrics, only instrumental music and the singer softly humming, you mutter under your breath. This song only has humming the whole time. It's quite special.
흠흠흠.
After hearing your description, Artem looks confused for a moment, and after a while, he suddenly understands and chuckles softly.
서부 휘파람 노래예요. 다시 들어보면 휘파람 소리라는 걸 알게 될 거예요. 근데 디지털 버전은 음질이 별로라 집에 LP판 있으니까 나중에 찾아서 들려줄게요.
I'll write it in the guest book as a reminder so we don't forget when we get busy. The guest book sits on the counter. As you flip it open, it suddenly occurs to you that this distraction technique has already worked. Artem has probably already forgotten about the record player. I mustn't ask about it or else I should stop thinking about it. I'm starting to think about the record player. The moment the thought crosses your mind, your gaze uncontrollably drifts to the record player. You take a deep breath, trying to steady yourself when Artem's voice suddenly breaks the silence.
밖에 바람이 좀 잔잔해졌는데 가게 문 닫고 돌아갈까요?
Coming! You quickly agree, and together the two of you methodically clean up the restaurant. The frustration over the record player fades away with ease. Cafeteria. As closing time approaches and no customers remain, you and Artem sit in front of the TV watching the Miss Bourne Film Festival award ceremony. It's time for the Best Picture Award segment. When the presenter announces the winning film, you can't help but let out a soft cheer. This is the film Mr. Gaines produced. Mr. Wright Gaines is a renowned film producer, and it was his invitation that brought Artem to Aldrich for the shooting event, which indirectly gave you the opportunity to be here now.
이따가 같이 축하 메시지 보내드리죠.
Before Artem finishes speaking, the door suddenly jingles with a theatrical ding-ding, and an elderly gentleman in a well-tailored tuxedo walks into the restaurant. Mr. Gaines?
시상식에 안 가셨어요?
Wright Gaines cheerfully waves at you both as if this small restaurant were the center of the media spotlight.
이 시상식 파티 음식이 너무 별로여서요. 지금은 여기 버거만 먹고 싶네요.
Cafeteria.
시상식에 나갈 때마다 맛없는 파티 음식에 고통받아야 하다니.
The award ceremony continues on TV, but the producer who should be on stage accepting the award is instead enjoying a burger and fries in a fast food restaurant. From your past experiences, you know he's quite an unconventional character, but even then, you didn't expect him to skip the award ceremony just because the dinner was bad. Was the food really that bad? While you suddenly ponder the truth about the banquet meals, he finishes his food with a satisfied sigh.
방금 묻는다는 걸 까먹었는데 왜 여기 계신 거죠?
His words trail off as he notices the club poster. His expression shifts to one of understanding, clearly familiar with the restaurant owner's ways.
알겠네요. 또 인생을 바꾸러 갔나 보군요. 그래서 가게를 임시로 맡긴 거고요.
네, 며칠간 대신 가게를 봐주기로 했어요.
Wright gains nods, his gaze sweeping over the wall full of movie posters. He lets out a deep sigh.
세월이 많이 지났지만 처음 수상했을 때의 모습이 아직도 똑똑히 기억나요. 그땐 우리 다 젊었었죠. 영화 말고는 아무것도 신경 쓰지 않았어요. 상을 받아도 여기 와서 버거 하나 먹고 나서 다음 작품 촬영 생각밖에 없었으니까요.
His face slows and he seems to sink deep into his memories.
그러다가 수상할 때마다 여기 와서 시간 보내는 습관이 생겼는데 지금 그 동료들은 다 떠났네요.
화이트 선생님,
The wistful sigh stirs something in both you and Artem. As you're about to offer some comforting words, he suddenly blinks and chuckles.
드디어 마음껏 인생을 감회할 수 있는 나이가 됐네요. 명예와 부를 가진 인생도 그저 그래요.
That's so him. That evening, the three of you chat for a long time. Wright Gaines recounts his journey from his first award to this very ceremony. When he finally gets up to leave, you hurriedly pull out the guest book and make a request. You believe this night will be unforgettable for all of you.
한마디 적어달라고요? 수상 소감보다 더 어렵네요.
The ever-witty and talkative elder accepts the pen and paper but falls silent for a long moment, staring at the blank page.
그럼 단독 비하인드 스토리 하나 알려드리죠. 알드리치의 과거에 일몰 장면이 하나 있는데 촬영지가 이 부근의 작은 마을이에요. 그곳은 한번 보면 평생 못 잊을 거예요. 나중에 가서 구경해 보세요.
시간 되면 꼭 가볼게요.
He says no more, waving to you both as he steps out the door, his figure soon blending into the night. After saying off the last guest of the evening, you and Artem each start tidying up the restaurant, preparing to close for the night. You walk to the large windows, lowering the blinds and shutting the night outside. We spent so much time wandering around the film city and never realized there's an even better view nearby. But it looks like sunsets are beautiful no matter where you are, but once you've shared one, it becomes unforgettable. The old blinds are stuck midway, refusing to move. As you focus on the struggle, you suddenly find yourself falling into a warm embrace.
같이 일몰을 보는 사람에게 특별한 의미가 있어서일지도 모르죠.
Artem wraps his arm around you, his palm resting over the back of your hand as he adjusts the cord with steady movements. Half of the curtain falls with a swish, sealing the moonlight outside, yet a soft glow washes over you.
우울한 색감의 풍경을 바라보고 있으면 항상 가장 가까운 사람과 함께하고 싶다는 생각이 들거든요. 내일 사장님 돌아오시면 가게 볼 필요 없으니까 같이 구경하러 갈까요?
Oh, right, I almost forgot tomorrow is our last day covering for him. Time really flies. The comforting embrace from behind feels so warm that you hesitate to pull away. Resting your head on his shoulder, you quietly murmur about your plans for tomorrow. Hopefully, the boss will come back early. Once we get the sun photo, we can call it a day. Even if we don't catch the sunset, we'll still have time to look around.
그러게요.
Artem gives a vague hum in response, lowering his head to gently kiss your forehead, erasing any lingering thoughts in an instant.
내일 되면 하나씩 해결하자고요. 이제 돌아가요.
Alright. Tonight's moonlight lingers, while tomorrow's sunset has already found its place on the list of promises shared between you and him. Cafeteria. The final day is as busy as ever. Near dusk, the flow of customers finally starts to dwindle. Just as you're catching your breath, a familiar figure appears outside the door. The restaurant owner stumbles inside, his forehead marked by swollen bruises, and collapses wearily onto the edge of a table.
배고파 죽겠네요. 빨리 아무거나 좀 가져다 주세요.
Okay, coming right up. The owner devours a burger ravenously before finally having the energy to share his beekeeping adventures, which can be summed up in 2 lines.
첫날부터 벌에 잔뜩 쏘여서 3일 내내 입원해 있다가 퇴원하자마자 돌아왔어요.
짜릿한 경험이네요.
어휴, 가게 봐줘서 감사해요. 이걸로 거래는 끝났네요. 이제부턴 제가 할게요.
Don't you need to rest a bit? We can stay and help until the evening. Seeing the owner in such a miserable state, you feel a pang of guilt despite having hoped to clock out early. The owner, however, waves it off like it's no big deal.
괜찮아요. 가게 하던 날들이 너무 그리웠거든요. 잠깐 여기 계세요. 바로 사진 가져올게요.
네, 감사합니다.
Within 2 minutes, the owner hands you a signed photo and some specialty products from the beekeeping estate. You take the signed photo and slip it into the restaurant's guest book, intending to bring it home as a keepsake. Just as you start organizing your backpack, Artem gently takes hold of your arm.
하늘에 노을이 지고 있어요. 와서 봐봐요.
Following the direction he points, you look up to see a magnificent sky. Layers of crimson clouds stretch across the horizon, bathed in vibrant light. This is beautiful.
일도 일찍 끝냈으니 근처 마을로 가서 석양을 볼까요?
Of course, let me pick up and we can head out. After packing up your belongings and saying goodbye to the owner, the 2 of you leave the restaurant together. Vintage train. You board a short distance train heading to a nearby town. The carriage has only a few scattered passengers and your seat is right next to Artem's by the clear gleaming window. As the train pulls out of the station, the sunset casts a golden glow over the window. You point out the scenery to share with Artem, only to turn and find him quietly watching you. Why aren't you looking at the view outside?
보고 있어요.
Artem turns to face you. His gaze remains fixed on you, yet his voice carries an unbothered ease as he responds. You lean in closer, your forehead nearly brushing his nose. His eyes, brimming with amusement, hold your gaze firmly. If only I can read your thoughts just by looking into your eyes when you're silent. Imagining the ability to decipher Artem's inner world, you can't help but laugh. But then we'd probably be the strangest passengers on this train.
왜요?
Because everyone passing by would wonder why we're silently staring at each other.
다들 쉽게 알아차리겠죠. 우리가 서로 사랑하고 잘 통하는 연인이라는 걸요. 세상의 수많은 연인처럼요. 늘 함께 있어도 여전히 서로를
Artem raises his hand and gives you a little shake. And that's when you realize the two of you have been holding hands since getting on the train. It feels so natural that neither of you even thought to let go.
당장 정확한 단어는 못 찾겠지만 아낀다고 표현할 수 있겠네요.
Attachment. You repeat the word in your heart. An unconscious desire to stay close, to hold hands, to seek an embrace. Even when marveling at the scenery, the first instinct is to look for each other's kiss. So that's what attachment means. Artem tilts his head slightly and whispers softly into your ear.
방금은 그날 심야 식당에 관해 얘기할 때 내가 빈 소원에 대해 생각하고 있었어요.
You made a wish at the late night diner. He turns his gaze away as if puzzled by his own thoughts, clearing his throat awkwardly.
웃지 마요. 그땐 왠지 모르게 분위기가 어울렸단 말이에요.
It doesn't matter where you made it. I only care about one thing. What was your wish?
사실 시간이 그날 밤에 멈췄으면 좋겠다고 생각했는데 방금 취소했어요.
Why? Autumn leans back against the chair, resting his head on the warm light pulling over his shoulder. His hand instinctively finds your wrist as he exhales deeply and contently.
시간이 멈추면 낮과 밤 그리고 당신과 함께하고 싶은 내일도 없어지잖아요. 둘 다 얻고 싶어서 고민이네요.
Looking into his eyes, you suddenly feel as though the scenery and sounds around you have faded. Thinking back, nothing particularly eventful happened that evening. You are simply chatting aimlessly, your conversation wandering from family matters to travel plans. It feels like being in a late-night diner, free of worries. Neither of you wants to be the one to end the conversation, even though you both know there's so much to do tomorrow, new stories to encounter, and countless possibilities waiting. A tomorrow full of promise will surely come, but it hasn't arrived yet. Tonight belongs entirely to the two of you. Autumn, I have a suggestion that might give us the best of both worlds. You lean into Autumn's embrace, your voice carrying an unmistakable hint of laughter. Let time stop at this very moment. Let the train move endlessly toward the horizon. You are always on the journey with your lover by your side. As the journey nears its end and you prepare to return home together, countless tomorrows awaits you both.